Eric Bischoff, what isn't he doing? He's doing so much. Right now he's at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in South Florida in Hollywood, getting ready for Legends of the Ring with him, Jimmy Hart, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. That's a Mount Rushmore in itself right there. My God, pop culture and pro wrestling. He's also has 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff podcast on Westwood One that he does with Conrad Thompson, which is getting off the ground. And where do I want to go? I want to go back to WCW, of course, and the West Texas Rednecks and Master P and Rap is Crap. The song Rap is Crap, which, by the way, Curt Hennig was part of this, which I could never understand, but it was great. But it was great. It made it even better. What was it like back then doing that? And then the success of Rap is Crap. And do you think, looking back at it then, that we could have done so much more with it? Or do you think it ran its course? What do you think?
No, I think it had a lot of potential. When you say Curt Hennig, Curt Hennig was a huge country western fan.
That's amazing. No, I never knew that. He's a Minnesota guy, right?
Minnesota guy. I grew up with Curt. We lived probably about 3 miles away. He was a little younger than I was, but we had a lot of the same friends and acquaintances. Although we didn't hang out together when we were younger, we all knew of each other in one way, shape, or form. And he was a Minnesota guy. When I went to work for the AWA, Curt Hennig was there, and he's always one of my favorite performers. When he came to work for me in WCW, we had a lot of different ideas for Curt, but that was a perfect one because he was such a country music fan. I mean, he was a Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson kind of guy. Merle Haggard, he loved Hank Williams Jr. and Hank Williams Sr. He loved country music. So when Master P came along with the No Limit Soldiers, we thought, all right, let's have a clash of cultures here. We'll do our own version of, the music wars.
Right, you had hip-hop versus country music.
Yeah, and it was fun. Everybody had a blast.
And with that, the four members, who was Bobby Duncombe Jr. was part of that?
Oh, I can't remember.
That was four.
You're digging
my God.
back 20 years ago.
But then they come out.
You know how many Coors Lights I've had since then?
Not as many as Andre the Giant probably has had in one sitting, but still.
Probably not.
So the No Limit Soldiers, Master P, he comes in and he's big into hip-hop, the rap. So he's doing his thing. And then all of a sudden, these four guys, these wrestlers, release Rap is Crap. And all of a sudden, the country music stations start picking it up. They love it, and it's just going crazy. What was it like, whatever you could tell us back then when that came out, and then what happened? And did Master P get upset because the success of that, in the sense that he was supposed to be the good guy, but now you had all these fans that were sort of rallying around the guys and the country guys?
No, I don't think he got upset over that. I think Master P, for the most part, he had a pretty good time. It's just that, he was into it for a one-off experience. He wasn't into it, to be a professional wrestling personality. It was just a way for him to promote some of his music, and he loved professional wrestling, but it was a one-off. It was never designed to be anything more than that.
Do you think you could ever took that song that they Rap is Crap and try to make a record out of it and sell it and do anything like that, or it just never got to that?
Possibly.
Okay, so turntables to Fusient Media.
Mm-hmm.
This was a group you were with that was going to try to buy or take over WCW at the ending days. I was always curious if anyone's asked you this, and if it is allowed to be made public, are you able to tell who some of the other investors were with Fusient Media?
Well, Fusient Media was essentially a guy by the name of Brian Badal and his partner Steve Greenberg. Both Brian and Steve made all of their money. Originally, long before there was ESPN Classic Sports, Brian Badal and Steve Greenberg went around and they aggregated or acquired all of the rights to collegiate sporting content because nobody really thought that it had any value. Well, by the time they get done curating or aggregating all this content, they had enough hours of college sports library footage that they were able to create the Classic Sports Network, which they subsequently sold to ESPN and made a fortune from. They did the same thing over again a couple different times with other different types of properties. So they were very successful in the media investment area, investment banking area. But they threw in, I think, $5 million of their own money. And then the other $62 million that we raised was with a combination of funds from Warburg Pincus, Wall Street. We literally did the dance, dog and pony show up and down Wall Street for, about a week. And based on their strength in that community, they were able to raise the other $62 million.
That's an amazing story and all. Jamie Kellner, right, came in. She was the new head of Turner Broadcasting. Jamie Kellner came in, new head of Turner Broadcasting. And if it was a point where Jamie said, oh yeah, we'll take it, you guys would have been rolling or not necessarily?
It's close. Turner Broadcasting had agreed to sell WCW to myself and the Fusient Media group. That deal was done. The letter of intent was signed. We did a conference call with Wall Street after the announcement was made. The wheels were turning. We were doing what's called due diligence, making sure that from a legal point of view, all of the documentation, everything that needed to be done was done in order to consummate the sale. And it was in the middle of that due diligence, which took about 6 or 7 months, by the way. It was a long process. About that same time, Turner Broadcasting, or Time Warner, had decided that Jamie Kellner was going to come in and oversee the entire Turner side of the equation. And when Jamie Kellner came in and he looked at all of the deals that were pending on the table, and he said, okay, I don't want to do that deal anymore, because our deal would have required that TBS and TNT, respectively, carry our content for a period of 5 years. And Jamie Kellner didn't want WCW on the TBS or TNT platforms in any way, shape, or form for any amount of money. So the deal essentially blew up, and WWE ended up buying WCW really for nothing more than a video library for about $2.5 or $3 million.
Eric, you've been very successful with Jason Hervey TV production company, and you've worked with Billy Ray Cyrus, Scott Baio, done a lot of projects for a lot of channels. And I was curious if you were still involved in that end of it, and also, if you are, what do you think of a reality show with Diamond Dallas Page and Loree Bischoff?
It's weird.
Is Loree involved in health and fitness?
Loree is a life and she's
wellness,
kind of a performance coach,
wellness
coach.
Wellness
but no,
coach.
I don't see the two of them working
You don't
together.
see a mix there, then? All right, I gotta get that. All right, I had to throw it out there. I think
Nice
the
try. Everybody's got an idea,
Well,
right?
DDP was doing his yoga, and she was in the wellness area. I didn't know if anything would fit with those two, but by the looks of it, bad idea. Bad idea.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah, I'm not gonna quit my day job. All right, we'll wrap it up with this. 1994. WCW Bash at the Beach. What a tremendous event. You had Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. Jimmy Hart was involved. Mr. T. Sensuous Sherry, Sherry Martel. Shaq was there. He was involved. You had Michael Buffer doing the ring announcing.
Let's get ready to rumble. Yep.
Eric, that was amazing. WCW got it. That's a WrestleMania type of match. Why do you think WrestleMania? Why do you think Vince and them just never was able to do that, and you guys were able to pull it off?
Oh, we paled in comparison to the WrestleMania events even back then. It was our effort to integrate celebrities and create interest in our pay-per-view, but really that's a model that the WWF had, long before that, had perfected that model with Cyndi Lauper, Liberace, any number of other celebrities. So it's not that we accomplished something that the WWF couldn't. It's just that WCW, myself in particular, looked at the success of WWF and WrestleMania and knew that that event had to be special. We had to find a way to make it special, and it was easy to integrate guys like Shaquille O'Neal, and we used George Foreman in the past, and Muhammad Ali, and Dennis Rodman, and Karl Malone, and any number of others, Kevin Green, a lot of celebrities that we've used in the past, and it always works to one degree or another, to varying degrees, but it always works.
Eric, thank you so much for taking the time. Legends of the Ring, he's involved in that here at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Also, 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff podcast with Conrad Thompson on Westwood One. Thank you so much.
Thank you.